The purpose of today is to inspire you, I hope, and give you an outlook on what it could be like to be at NATO, and maybe make you curious of wanting to know more and looking at opportunities. And who knows, maybe some of you being my future colleagues. So there you go. We can start on this. So as you know, NATO is a political and military alliance composed by 31 countries, just recently in April, soon to be 32, hopefully. The purpose is to guarantee freedom and to make sure that we have military and political means for that. There's 40 non-member countries, but partner countries, which we work with, and they are all listed if you go into the NATO website alongside the projects we run with them. And of course, NATO is not only Brussels, but has a number of locations and military commands, not only civil offices, and they are listed there. I'm not going to go through a list for you, but you'll see, other than international staff, a number of other NATO body. New NATO body that has recently been built, or actually came out, of the works, is Diana, and will be located in London. It's about technology transition and usage of academia. You can find them online, but they're brand new. They're not even have officially moved in London yet, but that's for the news on this slide. Maybe I should ask you, although this is not really an interactive session until the end, what do you think? What comes to mind when you think about NATO? Probably exercising theaters, soldiers, tanks, things like that. What I wanted to, yes, you're right, if that comes to mind, but not only. There's much more behind that. And what about this? So we actually have, of course, political and policy roles, but not only. We work within a number of areas. So I will name them, but in order to actually have NATO working, we need all professionals. And when I say all professional, I'm talking about finance, I'm talking about HR, I'm talking about IT, cyber specialists, climate change specialists, a number of different professionals to come to join us. And one of our challenges is that people don't necessarily think about NATO as an IT place for an IT professional, but it is, and it can be. It's just about perspective. So one of the aims of today is making you see the other aspects that you might not immediately think about when you think about NATO. So where to find opportunities? Quite straightforward. You go on your search engine, type NATO, and you will see a work with us. And a drop-down menu will unfold with internship, young professionals program, which is acronymed as YPP in some of the presentation, but young professionals program, and all other opportunities underneath, which you can search, of course. These are not limited to only international staff. They're also across other NATO bodies. I will focus on the ones in international staff. So a little bit more about having a diverse workforce and how important it is for us. I mean, I'm not going to give a lecture about diversity. It's much too complicated, and I'm not an expert, but one of the elements that is important for us is to have different professionals with different backgrounds, different nationality, different age group, different genders, and you name it, things we cannot even see when we receive applications, but for sure diversity is important. There's an interesting video speech of our Assistant Secretary General for Executive Management, which is the Assistant Secretary General that oversees all the supporting functions, about diversity and about the importance of every professional in NATO. So I would invite you after, when this presentation will be shared, to go and have a look at it. As I said, we have different areas of expertise, but we surely have a talented and committed staff. So it is important, it's recognized, and we all very value each other in the work we do. We're not so many at NATO. So a bit about core values and what's in it for you. So I think I can say for sure personal and professional growth, an experience abroad, potentially an experience or a career abroad. It depends on how that shapes. There's different ways to look at it. Being a change factor, so actually bringing your own knowledge and your own background to NATO will help us also look at things in another way. And we value that, especially for young professionals and interns. Being part of a bigger mission. I mean, of course, you're probably following the news and we're very present lately, even more. And your experience in general, and a good business card if you decide to stay within international organizations or you decide to leave and bring your career somewhere else. I'm not going to read you the core values, but it's something we really look at. So they're defined in our website. I would encourage you, if you go and apply, to look at them to see if they resonate with you. What they mean to you, whether you recognize yourself in them. It's always important to think about what NATO is and how you could fit potentially if you decide to do so.